Hello viewers, welcome to Kids Auto and Truck Repair. Today we have a 2006 ACURA MDX with a 3.5 liter engine. The customer complaint on this vehicle is the check engine light is remaining on the dash while the engine is running, and the engine is shaking tremendously while the engine is running. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go in the vehicle and confirm the customer's complaint. But before we confirm the customer's complaint, I would like to tell you what the customer told me when this vehicle came to our shop. The owner of this vehicle is one of our subscribers here on our YouTube channel. This vehicle was towed from Washington, DC to our shop. This vehicle came from two different shops. Some components were replaced to try to fix this. So I'm gonna show you the components that were replaced, and then we're gonna go in the vehicle and confirm the customer's complaint. So cameraman Matt, if you can come here under the hood. So the coils were replaced. So I'm gonna remove, hold on, I think this engine cover just pops off. I think you gotta undo these ones. Oops, we gotta find that little cover. So I'm gonna remove the engine cover. Actually, I can see the cover. It went into the fan housing. So let me get a 10 mil. We're gonna remove the engine cover. Okay, so now the engine cover can come out. I'm gonna remove this cover here. We're gonna twist these little plastic screws. So this coil is new. The coil over here is new. Let me get a flashlight. I hope you can tell. New ignition coil, new coil, and new coil. So all these coils over here were replaced, and it also looks like, based on the seals that I see over here, you see the blue seal on the valve cover bolt. It looks like the valve cover gaskets were replaced. And then back here, you guys probably won't see. I don't know if Matt can see that. Yeah, so over here, you see this coil over here is new. Yeah, right there. This ignition coil is new, and all the coils back here were replaced too. So I don't know if the spark plugs were replaced, but the coils are new, and this vehicle is misfiring very badly. So now what we're gonna do is, let's go in the vehicle and start the engine so we can confirm the customer's complaint, and then we're gonna see what codes we have in the engine computer. I have a battery charger on the battery because the battery was dead. This is odd. Now for some reason the check engine light is, yeah, the engine is shaking. Actually the whole vehicle is shaking right now. The engine is shaking very badly. Okay, the check engine light just came on. Check engine light is flashing. I'm gonna show you the dash so you can see the check engine light. That's flashing. As you can see, the check engine light is flashing, and the VTM-4 light is on. So this engine is misfiring severely. So customer's complaint confirmed. So now I'm gonna turn off the engine. We don't want to run the engine for too long. I'm gonna turn the key on. I'm gonna bring up our scan tool. The scan tool is connected to the vehicle. So let's see what codes we have. I'm sure we're gonna have misfire codes. Now, since the coils were replaced, I believe the spark plugs were also replaced. So our issue might be somewhere else, you know. So we need to figure out where our issue is. The fan just kicked in under the hood. Matt can show you guys the fan. That's kind of odd. The engine is not even hot yet, but the fan is on. Interesting. Okay. So let's see what we got here. So right there, the scan tool has identified the vehicle, 2006 ACURA MDX. So we're gonna click OK. Let's do a code scan. This is gonna scan all the control units on the vehicle. Interesting. So we have one code in the engine computer. So only one code is causing the check engine light to remain on the dash. The code is P0304, so cylinder number 4 misfire. Now guys, we have dealt with misfires here in the shop and here on the channel. I've diagnosed a lot of misfires here. So a misfire can be caused by lack of fuel in a specific cylinder. So in this case, we're talking about cylinder 4. So lack of fuel, lack of spark, or a mechanical problem in this particular cylinder. So now what we're gonna do is, since someone replaced ignition coils on this engine, now is our issue on the ignition side, or is it fuel delivery? So we have to figure out, because if we have a bad coil, the engine, the cylinder is going to misfire. If we have a bad injector, that's going to happen too. So now what I want to do is, I want to go into the engine computer. I want to make sure that our engine computer is not lying to us. Okay, we have to make sure that it is cylinder 4 that's misfiring. So we're going to look at some misfire data. It's odd that the fan is staying on under the hood. That's kind of weird. Again, we don't want to run the engine for too long because we have misfire. We have a misfire code, so we don't have misfire data pads here. So let's go back. Let's look at our codes again. I mean, we could go to the generic side and see and look at mode 6 to make sure that it is cylinder number 4 that's misfiring. So now what I'm gonna do is, okay, let's kind of stay low tech here. The other thing we can do is we can look at our fuel trim numbers to see if we have high positive numbers or high negative numbers. From experience, if you have high positive numbers, that will mean your misfire is fuel related, okay? But if you have high negative numbers, it will mean your misfire is ignition related. So it's the ignition system that's causing the misfire. So what I want to do now is let's find out where cylinder number 4 is. Is cylinder 4 on the front bank or the back bank? So let's go to our guided component test. Because what I want to do is, we're going to stay low tech first. We can just go ahead and swap some coils around to see if the misfire is going to follow our coil. So let's go to engine. I want to figure out the cylinder layout on this vehicle. Let's go to ignition control module, component information. Okay, so this is not telling us the firing order. Let's see. Okay, let's go to our service info. We're gonna swap some coils around and see what happens. And actually, as the scan tool is loading our service info here, this is a touring. The other test I want to do before we go under the hood, let's see if we can put this vehicle in clear flood mode. We're gonna crank it to listen to it, because the other thing that can cause a cylinder to misfire is a mechanical problem. So let's go to our common specifications. Let's go to firing order. Let's find our firing order. So right here. So this is a 3.5 liter engine. So V6. Okay, so according to this is the front of the engine. So the front of the engine is on the passenger side. So cylinder 4 is going to be the first cylinder on the front bank, the bank against the radiator. So now, before we go under the hood and swap some coils around, I am going to step on the accelerator pedal all the way to the floor, and then I'm going to crank the engine. I'm going to try to start the engine. If this vehicle has the clear flood mode feature, while I'm stepping on the accelerator pedal all the way to the floor, and if I try to start it, the engine is not going to start. And if the engine doesn't start, we're going to listen to the cranking cadence. We have to listen and pay attention to how the engine sounds. If the engine is fine mechanically, it's going to sound nice and consistent. If there is a mechanical problem, we should be able to hear it. So let's crank it. Oh, let's see. It looks like this doesn't have clear flood mode. No. Now, based on how the engine cranks, I don't think we have a mechanical problem. Let's crank it. All right. So this vehicle doesn't have clear flood mode. So now let's go under the hood, swap some coils around. All right, since it's cylinder number 4 that's misfiring, so according to our service info, cylinder 4 is this cylinder over here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna undo this bolt over here that holds the coil in place. So we're gonna swap these coils around to see if our misfire is gonna follow the coil. And then I also wanna do a relative compression test. We might have to do that after we swap the coils to see if what's gonna happen. So if the misfire follows the coil, then that will be pretty easy. So the issue will be the coil. But if it doesn't follow the coil, then we might have to do a relative compression test to see if we have a mechanical problem on this cylinder. So I'm gonna remove the coil out of cylinder 4. Man, it felt like there was a little bit of oil here. Look. And this coil smells, it smells burnt. I mean, you guys can't smell it, but it smells burnt, buddy. All right, so that's the coil that came out of cylinder 4. Now I'm gonna remove this one and put it over here. And then we're gonna get this one and put it over here. This coil might be bad because it stinks. It doesn't smell good. Okay. So we're gonna tighten these. We're gonna connect our electrical connectors just like that. I mean, because these coils clearly look new, so someone replaced these coils, and it looks like they also replaced the valve cover gaskets. So maybe they just got the bad parts. Maybe they got bad parts out of the box, and then the vehicle kept misfiring after they changed the coils, and then they gave up. So, all right, so we swapped the coils around. So now let's go in the vehicle so we can start the engine. All right, so we are back in the vehicle. I'm gonna turn the key on. Okay, so I'm gonna clear the code that we had. Remember, we had the code for cylinder 4, so let's clear it. And then we're gonna start the engine. Okay, so right now we shouldn't have a code in the engine computer, so that's good. No codes present. I'm gonna start the engine. Okay, so the engine is still shaking. I can feel the engine shaking. I'm gonna rev up the engine. Okay, let's wait a little bit. Right there, check engine light is flashing now. So let me back out. Let's see where our misfire is now. Okay, so it's the coil. Our misfire has now changed. It's now cylinder number, let me turn off the engine. It's now cylinder number 5 that's misfiring. So that was pretty easy. If we look at the cylinder layout, I believe 5 is gonna be next to 4. Let's look at the cylinder layout again. Oh yeah, so that's 5. So it's the ignition coil. So we're gonna have to change the coil on this one. So that was pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Let's go back to our scan tool again. Right there, we now have a code for cylinder number 5. So since the misfire followed the coil, we don't have to check the coil wiring. We don't have to check the spark plug. So I believe when the other shop fixed this vehicle, they just got bad quality coils, okay? So now the question is, should we replace all the coils or should we replace just one coil? I don't know. If you think we should replace all the coils, let us know in the comment section, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get one coil first, okay? Because the customer told me, Dio, I trust you, go ahead and fix it. So we're gonna fix this. I'm gonna call the parts store and get one coil. I'm gonna install one coil in it. If the issue is just the coil, when we change the coil, this engine is gonna run better. We're gonna test drive the vehicle. The vehicle should run better after that. So I'm gonna get the coil. We're gonna install the new coil on cylinder number 4. We will put the bad coil that was on cylinder 4 back on 4. I mean, we're gonna replace it and then we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna get the new coil and then I'll bring you guys back up. All right, guys, we got our new coil. So a couple of minutes later, I ordered one coil from the parts store. Here's the part number. So now what I'm gonna do is we're going to replace the bad coil. So remember, we moved the coil around. The misfire followed the coil. So I'm gonna mark the bad coil. So that's the bad one. I'm gonna disconnect it. And then we're gonna undo the bolt of the coil. So let's remove this one. So, oh, the boot stayed inside. So let me figure out a way to fish out the boot. So the boot stayed inside. Now it's gonna be, come on. Okay, all right guys, so the boot on the bad coil is stuck. I'm sure it's stuck on the spark plug. So it's getting late over here. We're gonna have to go home. We're gonna have to close the shop. So it's been a long day. I'm gonna stop here. Cameraman Matt is not gonna be here with me tomorrow. I'm gonna film the rest by myself. And then I'm sure once we replace the coil, this will be good to go. So we're gonna stop here today. I will bring you guys back up tomorrow so we can replace the coil together. All right guys, it is the next day. I'm going to remove the boot of the bad coil that was stuck in this spark plug hole. So I have a little peak over here so I can feel the boot. So I'm going to try to pull it out. Let's see if I got it. Nice. Right here. So I got it on the first try. I mean, this is the coil boot that came out of this boot. Okay, so it stayed in the spark plug hole. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is, this coil is good. So I'm going to move it back to this cylinder here. And then we're gonna grab our new coil that we got last night from AutoZone. Okay, so I'm gonna install the new coil on cylinder 4. Remember, cylinder 4 is the cylinder that was misfiring initially when we checked this. So I believe what happened is the other guy who did this just got bad quality coils, and then the vehicle kept misfiring after they changed the coils, you know, and after that they freaked out and they brought the vehicle here. So now that we got the new coil here, the good coil, so if the only issue was the coil, this vehicle should stop misfiring. So when the misfire stops, the question would be, should we change the rest of the coils and the spark plugs, or should we just replace this one coil and move on with our lives? So I'm gonna explain that to the customer. I will let the customer make that decision. because it looks like they got the same type of coils on the back bank. So I believe these coils are not good quality coils. So eventually the misfire can come back. I'm gonna make the customer aware of that, and then I will let them decide. So we might recommend replacing the rest of the coils and the plugs. But let's see if our misfire is gonna go away. So now, so this is the brand new coil that we got from AutoZone. Let me show you the bad coil. So I was looking at it, and this is a no-name coil. I didn't even see a brand name on this coil. So I don't know what brand this is. Okay, very weird. All right, so now let's go in the vehicle so we can start the engine and see what happens. I already have connected the scan tool to the vehicle. So let's start the engine first and see what happens. So as you can hear, the engine is running. The check engine light is on. Remember, yesterday when we were doing our testing, as soon as we started the engine, the check engine light was flashing. So right now the check engine light is not flashing, so that's good. And the engine is idling very well. So it's very smooth right now. Let's go back under the hood before we look at the codes on the scan tool. Okay, so the engine is pretty smooth. I hope the camera is picking this up. So this is good. Nice. So I guess they just got a bad coil. So now, let's go back in the vehicle. So check engine light is on. We're gonna have to erase the trouble codes so we can get rid of the check engine light. I'm gonna turn off the engine. I'm gonna turn the key on. Let's see what we have on the scan tool here. The scan tool has identified the vehicle, 2006 ACURA MDX. We're gonna click OK. Okay, let's do a code scan. One more time. So remember, we had a code set for cylinder 5. This was because we swapped the coils around. So now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go in the engine computer, and then we're gonna clear this code and see what happens. The scan tool has saved all these codes. So let's go into the engine computer. Let's read the codes. We have a code for cylinder 5, misfire. So let's clear the code. Let's see if the code is gone. Permanent code. Right there, no codes present. Okay, so we no longer have a code in the engine computer. I'm gonna start the engine. Our check engine light should be off now. Okay, so as you can see, the check engine light is off, and the other light that we have on the dash is also off. The engine is smooth right now. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn off the engine. We're gonna go back under the hood and install the engine covers, and then we're gonna take this vehicle on a test drive. This is good. Let me rev it up a little bit. Okay, it's fixed. So let's turn off the engine. Okay, let's go back under the hood. We replaced the coil. Now the misfire is gone. So I'm gonna install these covers here, and then we're gonna take this on a test drive. Now, I did take the little plastic cover that fell down here last night. I picked it up. I got it back off camera. So now we're gonna install these little covers. Very nice. Okay, let's close the hood and then we're gonna go on a test drive. I still have my scan tool connected to the vehicle. The engine is no longer shaking. So this is good. Yeah, this is fixed. We're good to go. I'm gonna go up the road and then when we get back, we're gonna scan the engine computer to see if we gonna have other codes in the engine computer. If there are no codes, then we're gonna wrap up this video. This vehicle runs a lot better than it was running before. This vehicle came to us on a tow truck. It was misfiring very badly. So now we're driving on the road. The vehicle drives well. No check engine light on the dash. I hope you guys can see the dash. There are no lights on. We're doing about 50 miles an hour right now. The vehicle has got a lot of power. So this is good. We're gonna have another happy customer. I like this. Oh, actually, this vehicle is gonna need wheel balancing. Look at the steering wheel. When I increase the vehicle speed, the steering wheel is shaking. I hope you can tell. Yeah, so the wheels need to be balanced on this vehicle. I mean, when I brake, the steering wheel is not shaking, so we don't have warped rotors. Our brake rotors are good. Yeah, this is gonna need wheel balancing. I will let the customer know about that. So right there, no lights on the dash. We are good to go. Yeah, check out the steering wheel. I hope you can see. Steering wheel is shaking very badly. This car has got a lot of power. Okay, so this is good. I'm gonna drive back to the shop. When I get back to the shop, I will bring you guys back up. All right, we are back at the shop. As you can see, the check engine light didn't come back on, so we're good to go. I'm gonna turn off the engine. We're gonna start the engine again. Okay, no lights on the dash. We're good to go. Let's turn the key on. So now let's scan the engine computer and see what we got. I'm sorry for the glare on the scan tool screen. So right there, 0 codes. Let's back out. Let's go in the engine computer again. Those were the last codes. Let's see. Let's read permanent codes out of the engine computer. Right there. No codes present. Okay, so we're good to go. We're done. This was easy. All right, we're done. So now let's wrap up this video. All right, guys, we are done with this ACURA MDX. The engine runs good, the vehicle drives well. This is fixed. We're gonna have another happy customer. So what I'm gonna tell the customer is, since the other shop replaced the rest of the coils, but the coils they installed are not good quality coils. So I believe what happened, they got one coil that was defective out of the box. They installed it and then the vehicle kept misfiring. Then they brought the vehicle to us. So we did some tests, we figured that out. We installed a good quality from AutoZone, but I'm gonna tell the customer we can either go ahead and replace all the coils, or she can pick up the vehicle and drive it, but she should know eventually these coils will fail prematurely because, you know, they look like cheap coils. Most of them didn't have a name on them, like a name brand on them. So that's usually a no-no. It looks like those coils were ordered online. So now I am going to talk to the customer. We are done. If she approves the estimate to replace all the coils and maybe all the spark plugs, I might want to take one spark plug out and see what kind of spark plugs they installed on this vehicle. If it's not the good quality spark plug, we might have to replace all the plugs. But if not, the customer is going to pick up the vehicle and then we're going to move on to the next vehicle. So with that being said, I'm going to end this video here. I don't have to film the process of replacing the coils and the plugs if the customer approves that estimate. So we're done. We fixed what we were paid for. The customer brought the vehicle to us so we can fix the misfire. So I don't know if she's gonna give us the go ahead to replace all the coils. So I'm gonna leave this right over here. This was a quick and easy one. I hope you liked the video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give it a thumb down. But if you do, tell us why so we can make better videos in the future. If this is your first time here, subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell so you can get notified every time we upload a new video. If you have any comments, questions, criticism, leave them in the comment box. Thanks for watching. See you next time.